Morning. How is everybody doing on this fine, beautiful 67-degree, not a cloud in the sky, just a wisp of a light wind, no humidity, Wednesday? I guess it's afternoon now. How the hell is everybody doing? How we doing? Icy, metal, green loogie. Hold on, I made the chat too big now. My twin brother got 2 goals last night. Oh, Shafasi. Yes, Sturm was good in the face-off circle. Yeah. How did I feel about Paul? You talking about Maurice? I didn't see his post-game comments because between putting out all the content and everything, I didn't get to bed till after 1 o'clock. But I still hate the fact that Greer got kicked off the ice. But hey, Ryan, how you doing, bud? Oh, no, come on, Ryan. We've already gone there. Ryan, you're okay with me. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, let me blow up the chat a little bit more so I can see. Real says, wasn't a Panther fan in here saying how they were waiting a long time to bet against us? How much money did they lose? I haven't seen them yet, Metal. That's the honest truth. I did all the work last night, and then this morning I had other things I was having to tend to. I did get the podcast out, so my intent was to watch everything tonight. So I didn't get a chance to see what Maurice's comments were. So maybe I should play those here. Schwartz says I wouldn't rush Ekblad back. Totally agree there. Just put him in Balinska's spot. Mythical says Marchand is clearly a mole sent from Boston to sabotage our chances. Too many missed opportunities and screw-ups. I just don't think his hands work as fast as his brain does anymore. He put himself into some decent positions. He just couldn't get the puck, couldn't get the hand-eye coordination going. Hey, Vincent, have I bought the Schmidt jersey yet? Might have to start selling shirts that say Schmidt happens, right? Ryan, you think Tampa will win tomorrow and Saturday? You know what? If you are going to win 2 games in the series, those would be the 2 games. How about that, Ryan? How about that? Those would be the 2 games Tampa would win. To not get swept at home and the afternoon game. I don't know, man. I mean, I know it's not going to be 6-2 every night. Craig says, well, we can see the 4th line plan this year is way faster versus last year. Yep, that's what we went with. Instead of looking at size and all of that, we just went for speed. Didn't think about it until I saw them out there midway through the first period. And I'm like, holy crap. Those guys are way faster than anybody else in the 4th line. 4th line's going to be getting goals. Which, hey, I got a question. You Lightning fans, this is a legitimate question. So I know Borkström was out, but you don't have any other forwards that you had to go 11-7. What is the Lightning's depth issue that, I mean, I get, you lost the guy, but you don't have anybody to replace him that would be worth putting out there? That doesn't seem very smart. What was the 11-7 all about? And what are you going to do if Cicerelli? Yeah, if Cirelli's out, Cicerelli. You guys wish you had Cicerelli. Metal says, it seemed like you thought we were just okay, which makes me nervous because we know he doesn't care for goal scoring, so he might take away some offense. I think I understand what he was saying, Metal. I think I understand what he was saying. There were some spots where Tampa kind of dominated in the offensive zone when the game was still tight. Vincent says, time on ice-wise, Lundell, E2, Marchand was the second line around 17 minutes. Beautiful. Bennett, Mackie Tkachuk was 12 minutes. That sounds perfect. Yep. And why not? And why not, Vincent? You know what I mean? I mean, especially once we, didn't really need him in the second period or third period, right? I'm sure that played into it a little bit. Metal says it's not like we would have won 2-1 because Tampa did get 2 goals, right? Yeah. Yeah, Bolvars. Good question. That's another good question. He says, so last night was not ideal. The Wild are supposed to be bad. What the hell was that? I don't know. What was that, Vegas? It's a good question. Hey, Alechka. How you doing, bud? Bud. Calling everybody bud. How you doing, Alechka? Mike says, Tampa looked sloppy out there last night. It won't stay like that, I promise. Yeah. It looked like they got the worst of the rust and everything like that. I mean, when you start off the game, with that pass from Sam Miskevich to Bennett and it connects and goes in the net, you know you're getting ready to have a good night. I mean, the odds of Samo threading that pass in the air all the way through and it hitting Bennett's stick and going in, I mean, that's when you saw that go in, you're like, yep, this is our night. Real Cinema says, hope all the Doomers finally get out. These guys like to handle March now. Yeah, good point. Olechka says, the headlines kill me. The Florida Panthers unzip and whip the Tampa Bay Lightning. Well, it was a good start. We'll put it that way. Vincent says, that line was crushing everything. They have created that first Schmidt goal out of chaos. Yep. No, we're in good shape. We're in good shape. Communist, so we decided to score all the first-round goals in one game. Still good to see they can finally do it. Yeah. Look, Vasilevsky going to be pissed. I thought when Chucky scored, when Chucky put Vasilevsky on Pornhub last night, I thought Vasi was going to pull a Patrick Wall right then and be like, that's it. I'm done. I'm pissed. But maybe if he watches the replays a few times, Vasilevsky going to be angry. There's no way around it. He got hung out to dry more than thrice yesterday. Bowler says, I don't know why, but it's very clear either the Senators, Blues, Devils are coming back or they're flat out getting swept. I think Ottawa will get a game, maybe even 2. They came close last night. The Devils are toast. Ryan says that was a dirty hit on Cirelli from Swaggy. Ryan, I'm not going to agree or disagree because I didn't see it and they didn't show it in terms of like showing it over and over again on the broadcast I was watching. So I can't comment about that. Green Lou, yeah, Verhaeghe was in it. Yeah, he absolutely was. Hey, Amanda. Says Tampa is okay winning games 4-3. It's good for us that they want to run and gun. Puts them in a bad position. Vasi can only bail them out so much. Yeah, if they want to do that, I mean, we got Rodriguez in the fourth line if they want to do that. So I feel good, but it's still only one game. Right? Tampa comes back and beats us 2-0 in game 2. It's on. Bulwer says Vasi looks like Father Time has caught up with him. He's leaving his prime. I mean, I don't know. I mean, some of those goals. I mean, look, the Bennett one, I can't blame Vasilevsky for that. Tkachuk being left alone in front, I can't blame him for that. The deflection, the Reinhardt deflection was like, it just went like straight up. I mean, there was some incredibly well-placed shots last night. But I get it. 6 goals on 16 shots is, I think I could do that. I'm pretty sure I could do 6 goals on 16 shots. What do you guys think? Leshka says our team swagger is unmatched. Yeah, they mean business, that's for sure. I says I would say the Devils are toast, but I said that a few years ago when they lost 2 to the Rangers and came back to win in 7. But it's the Rangers. It's the Rangers. Carolina usually doesn't choke until the Eastern Conference Finals, you know? Hey, Colin, how you doing, bud? Greg says it wasn't swaggy, missed more than he hit. Hey, look, if he's out there making the effort, I'm good with it. You know? I can't think anybody didn't play well. Vincent says Barkov was at 77, Lundell 60, Bennett 44, Sturm 47. Bennett's not been spectacular in the face-off circle this year. Let me look at that. That could be a negotiating point. You know? Icy says, Jaws, with all due respect, you couldn't even bend down to get your skates on. Hey, I'm so short, I don't have to bend down, Icy. I just bring the shoe. I just bring the foot up. I just bring the foot up right here. I don't got to bend down. I can't afford goalie gear. Now, Vince, now that's an accurate statement, Vincent. Vincent's got an accurate statement. Greg says, still only one game. Don't get too cocky. Amen. Amen. But I don't think the team, you know what I mean? Like us fans can have our fun, but the team, you've seen them in the locker room after the game. Shafasi, the roughing call on Chucky was weak. Hey, what percentage do you guys think Chucky is? I know he got the 2 goals, but watching him move and skate, what do you think? 85%? What do you think? I mean, as long as he stays healthy and he can do what he did last night, we're good. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I'm not sure. Metal says Paul said he was okay. Shafasi, 80%. Yeah. Yeah, there's still some. Mythical says Chucky was ready to go before game 1. Craig says 90. Icy, 86. Chucky is a healthy 85%. Yeah, Vincent. Yeah, Bennett was never spectacular on faceoffs. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, let's go limit Chucky's minutes. Yep. No, they did it. They did it right. Brace fan says 90. Still a little bit of awkwardness, but maybe some of it he was just being tentative and being cautious. You know, Metal says 82.1697. Craig says, but that's actually getting into game shape. Sure. I says, whatever Paul says, it's usually the opposite. So Chucky is on life support. Oh my God. I'm sure he's feeling it. I'm sure he's sore. Right? Olechka says, y'all better leave my boy Benny alone. Hey, I'm the one that wants to give him 5 years and $7 million. That is fine. We need to re-sign him. Right? Schwassi says, I think Schmidt can be our Montour of these playoffs. Yep. Now, hold on a second, Vincent. I got 2 sticks right here in the corner. They're not goalie sticks, but I could, and I got a paddle around here somewhere. I could tape some cardboard that kind of makes it a paddle onto the stick I got. I could afford a goalie stick. Silva says, what in the hell happened last game? Metal says, my scientific. How much are goalie sticks? Let's see. Now that Vincent has taken upon himself, let me see. How much for a goalie paddle? Let's see. Oh, shit. No, I could get one for $75. There's one for $50. I mean, I had to put it on a credit card, but I could get one for $50. I can afford a goalie paddle. Damn it. Kind of. Maybe. I might have to go through 4 or 5 cards to find the one that's got the $50 on it, though. All right, Vincent. It might take me a while, but one of the 13 cards has got to have $50 on it. I says, Jaws will offer Chucky a free massage to feel better. I could fix his ass right up. Let's go. No pun intended. I worked on athletes when I was doing dancers. I worked on dancers. Man, it ain't nothing. If any of you have ever dated an athlete or a dancer and had your hands on their legs, it's like this table. It's like massage. Go massage your kitchen table. That's what it's like massaging a dancer's legs. It's not even human. Colin says, I also want Bennett to stay in Florida too so he can get the Publix meal deal, right? Chris says, I was worried about this team having time to gel, and wow, I was proven wrong. This team looks dangerous, can play in tight spaces and winning more battles. Yep. Vincent says, you don't drive a Zamboni. Who's going to call me? That's true. He probably had free equipment from the team. Boulevard. I know the sense. They got this close. They needed to win that game. They needed to win that game to have a chance at the series. Fake. No, not dancers from a gentleman's club. Ballet dancers. There was a group of ballet dancers, and they would come into town because I was in Melbourne. So like all the shows that would come into the King Center in Melbourne, Mamma Mia, Jersey Boys, stuff like that, they would, the lady that owned the spa was ritzy, hoity-toity. She knew a lot of people. So a lot of times the dancers from those shows would come to the spa. And since I was the only male therapist and I was strong enough to work on them, I got the lucky deal. They don't tip well. They weren't great tippers. Nice people, a lot of fun, but it was like massaging my kitchen table. It was incredible. Hey, Kachuckin, what'd you miss? We're gloating. We're busy gloating. The consensus is Kachuk is about 85 to 90% himself. Vincent says, I'm too extroverted to fake me and a goalie. Who's going to believe me? Hey, I could be like Tuukka Rask. I could be like Rask was, Vincent. Every little thing that goes on, I could just be throwing a freaking fit in the net. Could do that. Right? The problem is going to be they could shoot high on me. Right? I can't go down to the butterfly. They're just going to lift the puck over my head. That's the problem. The problem is what it is. I think my goalie days were over. I played goalie I was a soccer goalie. Is what I ended up being, a soccer goalie back when I played, when I was a kid. Kachuckin says, anyone think Barkey and Chucky are mad at each other? Anyone see the post-game interview with Barkey? No, I did not see that. They were both kind of like stoic a little bit, right? In the locker room, they seemed just like all business. But no, I had to see that. Boulevard says, breaking up with my first girlfriend that was a dancer turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Her life got nuked after that school year and almost dragged me down with her. Yeah, sometimes. Valeshka says, I hope those pennants continue to write us off. We got to win game 2. Winning game 1 at 6-2 only matters if you win game 2. If you win game 1 6-2, but you lose game 2 1-0, you still split on the road. We have to continue to prove that we can score goals against this team. Yeah, Colin, I saw that. Stolar is hitting the Sens player. He was pissy. Yeah, go Swayman style. AJC. Paul reiterated his disbelief in the phenomenon of momentum. I mean, Metal, what's funny is he proved it right. He proved himself right in the Stanley Cup final. We had all the momentum, and then we lost 3 in a row, and Edmonton had all the momentum, right? No, Kachunga. Pull up the post game. All right, hold on. Give me a second. Hold on. Is this on George's or is this on Florida Panthers? Hold on. Give me a second. I'll pull it up. Stand by. Oh, hold on a second. Old man. Oh, I gotta freaking use the glasses. There we go. Hold on a second. Barkov was joking. I still want to see it though. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. The Paul Maurice one? No, let's see. Who else did we get? Does George have Barkov and Tkachuk together? There's Tkachuk. John Cooper must have been on the Florida. Was it on the Florida Panthers site? It's the Barkov Schmidt post game. Okay, hold on a second. So then that must be on the Florida Panthers, not on Florida Hockey Now. Let me see. YouTube doesn't. Here we go. I can get here and then get here and then latest. Let's see. There's the reaction. Okay, yeah, here. I found it. Hold on a second. All right, let me turn it down for myself a second so I don't blow out my eardrums. All right, let me come back over here and share. Let me share it. Okay. Let me see. All right, that's about as big. That's about as big as I can make it. That's what she said.
Just a little bit about tonight. You guys obviously take the early lead. Could you talk a little bit about that second period when you guys were able to get those 3 quick goals and blow this thing open?
Yeah, I mean, it started with Schmidt's goal, and then we got the power play there, and kind of quick goals there. But I think overall we were solid today and did a lot of good things. So I like most of our game.
And Nate, just your first goal, the joy on your face, we could see it from the press box, and then you get the second one. Just a little bit about how you've really worked your way into this team and to be such a big part of a big opening night win.
Yeah, you know, this team at the beginning of the year for me, you just want to step in and not screw it up, and then you start to integrate yourself into this group and find how you bring your own brand to the game. And for me, Benny makes a great play taking that puck to the net in the second period. Anytime he's got the puck on his stick, something good usually happens. So you find out in games when you can jump in and find a chance when you can jump around a forward and be a part of the rush. And then Lucy makes a great play trying to get to the net, causes some chaos, and squirts out to me. So, and then this guy later on, Nick makes a nice little moving screen. So it's not just the end result. There's a lot of things that go into it, and I kind of like to think that's the way our game was tonight. There wasn't just the end result of us scoring. There were a lot of things that went into it. A lot of forecheck routes by our guys that created turnovers that made it hard for their defensemen to get it to their forwards, and that's what I think needs to happen for us moving forward to be successful.
For both of you guys, we all know the impact that Matthew Tkachuk can make, but just what kind of spark did he give you guys, especially after being without him for a couple months?
I've talked enough about him.
Okay.
So you can.
Okay. He's not really a guy you can put a label on, right? Because he's such a unicorn of a player. But I think more than anything, just how he is in the room, getting the guys fired up for the game. You feel his energy, you feel his excitement. In the locker room, and I think it takes the edge off of guys quite a bit. The edge off of guys to be vocal, the edge off guys to the things he says before the game to keep the room light, and I think that's the kind of thing that doesn't show up all the time. But you see him be able to step into a game and be impactful. That's just the way he is, and that's the type of player he is. He's a playoff player that comes into a game and does what he does tonight.
All right, okay, that was fantastic. Okay, I think I've talked enough about him. That's funny. Oh my God. Man, it says he's been asked that same question so many times. Right? That was funny. That was funny. Yeah, no, I don't think he's just so icy. They asked Barkov and Schmidt about Tkachuk and what he means to the team and all of that. And Barkey just looked at Schmidt and said, I think I've talked enough about that guy, so you take it. Yeah, he gave him the game puck. They're fine. Of course they're fine. That was funny though. That- oh my God, that was spectacular. Yeah. Hey, as long as Kachuk stays, even if he has to miss a game, like even if we get up in a series and he has to miss a game to keep himself okay for later on down the road, I'm not going to cry about it, right? As long as he's okay. It sounds like they thought maybe he needed surgery, and he said, no, I can get myself ready to play, right? Hey, Mr. Vids. You did, Mr. Vids, you actually did say that. Yeah. Michael says also Barkey's baby mom is an Instagram model, so he has to deal with oh my God. Oh my God. Colin, I haven't heard anything yet. Oh, and the same thing for Bex. He's asking about the Tampa injury players and the updates on Chicken Chuck after last night. I haven't heard anything so far. Vincent says, to be fair, the Florida media guys are insufferable, all the same questions every day. So I never be one to talk good about my competition, but there's reasons for that. There's reasons for that. The way that, the way it was presented to me, like when Caldwell called me my first year at the channel, I knew I was never getting I wasn't getting any help from the team. They were nice about it, but basically the way Viola runs it is military, man. It's just like, this is the box. Those are the things that you're allowed to say. Anything else can and will be used against you rapidly. So, like, remember when the Jones trade happened, when they traded Spencer Knight, did you see anybody ask Paul Maurice about, hey, what did Spencer Knight mean to the team, et cetera, et cetera? I didn't see anybody even be able to mention Spencer Knight's name. Like Zito didn't even say, thank you, Spencer. I didn't see it. If it happened, okay. I didn't see anybody be able to say anything other than exactly what Michael is saying. They get handed the questions from the team, basically. Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. That's the way they run the show. Why they don't like me, because they can't control me. I'm uncontrollable. Green says, yes, just wash their hands. Yeah. Vincent says they fired you before they had a chance to give me a job. Yeah, very smart. Yeah, and it was Vincent is funny. Like when the channel started early on, this gives you an idea how old my dad is and how he doesn't understand how it works. So I don't know. I had done maybe a half dozen videos on the channel when Gallant got fired, right? And like it blew up my Twitter because Sifu retweeted my tweet and responded to it and all of that. And I get all this attention, I get my 5 minutes. And my dad's like, hey, maybe the team will give you a contract now. And I'm like, oh, Dad, thanks for the boost of confidence, but I don't think that's how it's going to work. I don't think that's how it's going to work. NHL says, how am I feeling after last night's slaughtering? Win game 2. Win game 2. I don't care if it's 1-0. Win game 2. Then we got something. Yeah, Craig says that's weird because military definitely remembers their guys, especially if they weren't screw-ups. Yeah, it was a little bit awkward. Like it seemed like they were going out of their way not to say anything. Kachukin says, we're not seeing too much LTIR talk yet, but if we win game 2, I suspect the dam to break on the cap circumvention. I don't know. You could, I think most people can watch Chucky out there and realize he's not 100%. I would think that most people could look at him objectively and see that he's still not, skating exactly the way he would want to skate. He's got some odd choppiness to his stride and everything. He looks fine, but I think people can see he's not quite there. Metal says, I want to put them all in a room and make them watch the Eastern Conference Game 3 recap from last year. Oh, my God. Yep. Hey, David. Good morning, bud. Braves fan. He's going rogue. Stop him. Caldwell's the one that called me. Yep. He's the one that called me. It was early on. I never heard from them again. Beck says, Paul didn't seem too thrilled about the game, most likely because we scored over 2 goals and he wasn't happy about that. I know. We scored like the whole series allotment, so I don't know what we're going to do now. Michael says, handing them questions would work if Vinny wasn't so old school. He needs to open up with the reporters more. They're humans, not robots. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Fake news. Bulwer says he's definitely above 70%. Yeah, but he's definitely, I don't think anybody could watch him out there and think, oh, he's been fine. He's never been hurt, right? Chris says he wasn't the normal wild man for sure. Now, of course, some of that might be precautionary. He might actually like learn the lesson, Craig. Would that be scary? You know what I mean? If Tkachuk was to get smart and learn a lesson and be like, maybe I shouldn't do stupid things out there on the ice and I can still play, right? So we'll see game 2, game 3, how he looks. If he gets progressively better or worse, then we'll know. Yeah, Michael, exactly. Chucky's hands are at 100%. That's a good point, though. That's really a good point because the sternum injury really made his hands and reflexes not all that great. And I just wonder if while he was fixing the groin, he spent extra time working on his handiwork. Ray Sam says Paul is probably just as pissed that we gave up too, right? David says looks like Tampa not strong enough. They might score some, but to get work like that at home is ouch. Yeah. Vincent, LTIR things are closely monitored this time around. Look at the Oilers. Wasn't allowed to bring back Kane. Compared to that, Tkachuk was all clean. Right. Metal says if we win game 2 and lose game 3, we're going to go off on Ekblad. It's definitely Ekblad's fault if that happens. Even if it's 1-0. Even if it's 1-0 and like triple overtime, it's Ekblad's fault if we lose game 3. It's just automatic. Sorry, bud. You know, but that'll be good because he only cost us the 1 game, right? Seal Daddy says it was great to see the speed they play with on top of the physicality. Yeah, I mean, the week off will do that to you, right? Right? Travashi says League Ekblad off the ice. I don't really think Maurice would do it. Do you think Maurice would do it? Like that would let us know just how pissed Viola is. If we're up 2-0 in the series and Ekblad is eligible to return and they leave him on the bench. Like, what if that's the plan? Like, what if that's why we got Jones? I mean, I'm totally making things up. And it's probably never going to happen. But what if Viola went out and said, go get Jones, and I don't want Ekblad back on the ice unless we absolutely have to. Right? Yeah, Jones was fine, TK. He was in the corner all night long. They didn't let him skate. I think he had a leash attached to the bench, attached to the net. Guitarco says Chucky going to get better soon, but no way he goes 100% first game. Yeah, I agree there too. Well, in other words, Vegas has ruined LTIR for everyone in the end. Now they're demanding actual reasons for why they can't play. If it's unsatisfactory, then they will not allow you to activate them. Yeah. Guitarco, I agree. I don't think you can put Ekblad back on the first. He might, but at the very least, if you're going to put him in, just move Belinskas off, put Ekblad back in. Vincent says, I almost cracked a plate of breakfast today. Ekblad was on my mind. Great, but Eki with Nate on the bottom pair. I mean, honestly, we'll see how game 2 goes. But, Maurice is a big kind of guy to not want to mess with the defensive pairs, right? So, I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but if we're up 2-0 on Tampa, do we just undo all the defensive pairs just because Ekblad's ready again? Or do we leave it until there's a problem? No. True says, we look great. Don't change a thing. Yeah. Kachuk and everyone stepped up on defense to negate any passes in the zone. It was nice to see that style of play again. Roddy playing on the fourth line is crazy. He was a little wrecking ball last night, too. David, yeah, the Bennett goal, the Samoskevich pass. I mean, the pass, the whole thing. The whole thing is just crazy that they were able to pull that off. Yeah, the goal was nuts, just like Ovi's overtime winner. Yep. Marchand's looking better. He's going to get one. Yeah, to knock it out of the air while skating is next level stuff. I know. Vasilevsky was just like, whoa, what? 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 He knew he was in for a long night at that point. Scientist says we can't underestimate the shutdown clinic put on by our guys last night, especially towards the second half. Didn't seem like Tampa were getting any quality looks. They had them 2 power plays at the end there. I think they had 1 shot in the last 2 power plays. They closed up shop. Connor says Jeff Vinnick is in the process of selling the team. I'm sure potential buyers would not like to receive a team with 3 consecutive round 1 exits. Yeah. They're going to be on fire Tuesday or Thursday, I'm sure. Mr. Viz says if we win game 2 the same way we win game 1, I think we'll be fine. Yeah. Yeah, even Balinskis was good. I mean, it's amazing what these guys do when they play the system and they all got energy, right? Vincent says Balinskis played on the edge last night, not safe. I don't know. On the edge I agree with, but we survived it. Auckland says the obvious solution is move Ekblad to offense. They had no room for him there either. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. TK says it took Maurice a while to send Bornfoot down. Agreed. And then Megna came in and we're all like, why the hell did they ever bring Bornfoot up? He was here earlier, JC. Ryan Reed was here earlier. His first comment of the day was that the Panthers would lose to Toronto in the second round. And then he went on to say that Tampa would still win game 2 and game 3. True says that Bennett goals from years of playing street hockey or what we call round ball. Verhaeghe knocked 2 people out of the game. He was. Hey, Coop. Possums? Heather. Heather, I don't think Heather trusts it. You saying you don't trust it? All right, David. Take it easy, bud. Chuckin says the Boston series last year was back-to-back blowouts. If they lose game 2 by a goal, it's still a win. Yeah, no, you have to win game 2. JC says definitely Swaggy was chucking the body. If you can't get it in the net, next best thing to do is bang bodies, and Swaggy excelled. Yep. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying, Heather. We were possums for 20 games. Basically, yeah. Yeah, we just said, the hell with the division. We don't care. And they just was resting up. Yeah, man, we're doing Caps Canadiens, and then we'll see what happens after that. I think we want to do Avs Stars, but then of course Kings and Oilers is in that mix. So I think we're going to try to just go ahead and do another late night like we did the previous night, as long as the games are close. Like if it's, I was going to say if it's 5-0, in the Knights Oilers games, we'll turn it off, but then no, maybe not. Yeah, come on, Montreal, win a game, right? Win a game. Yeah, the team last night is the real Panthers. That's exactly correct, Heather. Hawkins says Panthers were manhandling the Lightning last night, especially the first half. It's been a while since I've seen that. We definitely sent the message that we're the champs until somebody's going to have to rip it out of our hands, kicking and screaming. Like, I know it's just one game. We could lose game 2 and all of that. But if this team plays like they did last night, good luck beating us 4 out of 7. I mean, Bob, most of the game, he was back there making pancakes. Green Loogie says, longest 20 games knowing what was coming, right? Michael says the best lineup in the playoffs will be on display game 3. Yeah, I mean, in all likelihood, they'll put Ekblad in, but I don't know. If we're up 2-0, I don't know about Maurice, man. Metal says, I kind of want Montreal, to be honest. I hope they at least win a home game. That building is electric. If they can win tonight, if they can split on the road, they got a chance. They've just got to use their speed. Washington, they've just got to use their speed and not be afraid when Washington's trying to knock them around all over the place. I don't know. Montreal's not going to go through 4 rounds of playoffs and win a cup that way, but they could still beat Washington. I'm not convinced. They were close the other night. Oh, geez, Captain Hobbs, that's a shame. Colin says, I think Ekblad coming back would actually make the D pairs look like Fort Knox. Yeah, Trey. Yeah, message was sent, right? Ryan says the Lightning weren't ready to face the Panthers when healthy. Yeah. Hey, Ryan, honest question, man. How come you guys do you not have any backup forwards? I keep asking this question for the Lightning fans. I know Borgstrom was out, but you have no depth that you had to go 11-7. And then what's going to happen if Cirelli's really out? Yeah, I'd like to see that. Just take the Caps out. Michael says you can't ignore the ridiculous numbers from the game 1. We had the full D lineup. Even Maurice wouldn't deny it. I mean, we didn't have a whole lot of shots, but we didn't need it either, too, right? Ryan, you have to ask John Cooper about that. So I see. So it was more like a decision I mean, he's going to have to fix it. He's going to have to fix it. I don't think 11-7 was the way to go. I think that was obvious. We'll see. Guys are going to have to score some goals, and 11-7 usually. Yeah, Colin says I expect game 2 to be 2-1, 3-2. I would venture a guess that that's how it's going to be, right? Trey says, odd time to bring this up after we went 3 for 3 on the power play, but Chicklets was saying Leafs power play has become deadly ever since they went to 5 forwards. Who's been asking that around here for 2 years? Yeah, I mean, it can pay dividends. It can pay dividends. Sure. But do they have 2 lines of 5 forwards, or is it just the one? Is it just the one line? Captain Off says, I got a picture from warm-ups where Paul Maurice stands, and it's a laminated paper with the refs and linesmen's names, and then it's In all caps, SDFU. Oh my God. That's funny. JC says Tampa thought they could order a small pizza and receive that giant Little Caesars pizza from back in the day. It was too much for them to stomach. Hey, Adonis. So Meadow says Tampa wins game 2, 2-1 in overtime. Florida wins game 3, 4-2. I'll take that. I'll take a 2-1 series lead. 3-0 would be better. 4-0 would even be better. But I'm not going to get greedy yet. Trey says we have 2 Ekblads now, so the point may be mute. Jones was good last night, though. JC, yeah. They were huge. God, it was so cheap, though. It was barely sauce, man. It was like they painted the sauce on with a feather duster. It was barely sauce. Ryan says, I hope Stolarz knocks his former team out of the playoffs in the second round. Stolarz is playing well. He's playing well, but we got to get to the second round first. JC says they still barely use sauce. Yeah. Boy, my throat is going. I got to get some seltzers today. What's that? Who watched Stoli, the Ron Hextall of 2025? No, I haven't seen that. Trey says, I didn't mean it any other way than that. We'd have 2 prototypical power play quarterbacks, so 5 forwards would still be fun. So Barkov, Reinhart, Samoskevich, Kachuk, and Verhaeghe. You could throw in Bennett if you wanted to instead of Verhaeghe. I guess having Samoskevich and Verhaeghe on the ice, that's duplication. But you need your sharpshooters, both of them at the – True, I can't drink green tea. It makes me nauseous. My body can't handle the tannins, unfortunately. I try it every once in a while, but it makes me sick. Yeah, I'll have to check that out, Coop. I'll have to check that. Yeah, Martian. So we could make 2 5-man units, really. So Barkov, Martian, Reinhart, Samoskevich, Kachuk. Who's playing defense? I think Barkov. You can't have Barkov down low then. You got to have Barkov at the top in case there's a break. Right? Yeah. And then you basically like 2 Kachuks and 2 Verhaeghes and Barkov. That makes sense, Trey. But Barkov's got to be at the top. He's got to be at the line so that we at least have a chance if the puck goes that direction. Trey says if a power play is playing, if we're playing defense, we're already failed. I get it. I get what you're saying, but you got to account for it a little bit. We tried that 5-man thing a couple of years ago. I think it might have been Q that did it. And it didn't go well. It didn't go so well. Was it Q or was it Brunette that tried that? Yeah, Colorado won. Hey, Alberto. Yeah. I see what you're saying. You're saying Barkov on one line and Lundell on the other would be the D-man. So you don't want to have Barkov on the line? You want to just go full-on balls to the wall? So we'll go Reinhart, Verhaeghe, Samoskevich, Bennett. Hell, who else you want to throw out there if you don't want to have Barkov out there? He moves the puck too slow anyway. Kachuk, I guess. Hey, Pente. Yeah, kind of a perfect start. That's one way to put it. Minnesota actually beat Vegas last night. Well, I think it was 5-2, Nick. Soflo says, just food for thought. If we win tomorrow, do I consider sitting Ekblad for the rest of this series? We actually joked about that, half joked about that about 20 minutes ago. If we're up 2-0, I say leave the lineup the way it is. I mean, I know that sounds crazy. Now, Ryan, so let me get this straight, Ryan. It's going to be 1-0. We're going to allow an empty net goal for it to be 2-0, and then we still get a goal back to make it 2-1. Is that how it happens? That's how it would have to happen, right? Hey, Dana, I see the chat is gossip mongering again. I didn't. No, I know. Everybody was just taking that as a joke. Everybody's just joking, Dana. It's all cool. We watched the video. Got a good laugh out of it. Soglo says they won't sit him, but it's just a conversation. I don't disagree. If we're up 2-0, why change it? Seriously, I would consider it, honestly. Send a message to him. Be like, well, we're good without you right now. I don't know. It probably never happened. But, boy, I'd like to be a fly on the wall of a room when it did. True. Yeah, man, it fits perfect. If only Luosterainen had hands. If Luosterainen had hands, that third line would be dangerous. Because Marchand keeps getting him the puck. He can't do anything with it. Come on, Luosterainen, please. Just give me 10% more offensive ability. I know you're fantastic on defense. I love you, kid. But damn, if he could just a little bit. Work on a heavy shot. Give me something. Bolvar. Mike says, Seth Jones was not brought here to replace Eggplant. Jones was brought here to replace Montour and OEL. Well, you can't pay Eggplant, though. That's the thing. I get what you're saying. But with Jones's money, we can't pay Ekblad. So now what? Battle says, what do I think of this series prediction up there? Hold on a second. Let me get back to it. I didn't see it. Game 2, 2-1 overtime Tampa. Game 3, 4-2 Florida. Game 4, 3-2 Tampa, Florida. Game 5, 5-2 Tampa. Game 6, game 2, 1. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, Metal. I think that sounds pretty copacetic there. Yeah. Oh, what did Trey say? He says, hold on. But Barkov on one line. Oh, okay. So we already had that discussion. Okay, scrolling down. Good talk. We better pay Bennett. I'm a little bit concerned about why we haven't paid him yet. Like, what's he asking for that we can't get it done if we've been negotiating this long? Pente says Luosterainen is good taking the puck away and is very near the boards. Absolutely. I love that kid. And I would never want to get rid of him. If he had just a little bit more offensive ability, that third line would be insane because Marchand's getting him the puck. They need to swap. They need to put, this is crazy talk now, but they need to put Luosterainen at 3C so Marchand can get Lundell the puck because Lundell can score. I know it's not going to happen. I know it's kind of crazy. Sobel says 3 power play goals. That's not going to be gifted to us every game. Game 2 is going to be tighter. Could see overtime. Yep. Mike says, I didn't mean it's a long-term fix. I mean for this postseason run. Right. I get what you're saying. Yeah. No, I agree there. We needed somebody to pair with Mikkola. I would still say Ekblad if we're up 2-0 just because he's blocked me on Twitter. Just because he blocked me on Twitter. I don't know, man. Wouldn't that suck to be up 2-0? You put Ekblad in and he makes a mistake and you lose the game. I mean, dude's going to be rusty, right? Just saying. But we got to win game 2 before we can have that, right? Discussion. Yeah, Kachuk coming back made a huge difference. Yeah, so Flovassi looked awful. Should expect him to wake up next game. I mean, he got left out to dry a lot, too. I think he just looked shell-shocked. Like, Vasilevsky is not used to that at all. That first goal from Samoskevich to Bennett, that just kind of got him like, what? Michael says, Lou was developing a deadly slap shot, but he'll never recover from that broken leg. I don't think he can put all the required weight and pressure on that leg and never will. Huh. I hadn't thought about that. Michael. Huh. Okay. I can see that. Yeah. Loogie says, I got a DM on Twitter last night during the game about my comments on my video during the Four Nations. I'm an effing dual born in the USA. Was just explaining the situation. Did not say I agree or disagree. Really? That's interesting. You're a dual citizen born in the USA. We just explaining the situation. Did not say I agree or disagree. Right. Huh. That's wild, man. That's such an old video, too. Ryan says Capitals and Ovechkin will be the Eastern Conference champs against the Panthers. Nah, Washington can't keep up with us. We'll if Washington is having trouble containing the energy of the Canadiens, I feel okay about how we'd play against them. Yeah, Pente, Chucky's first was nice. Both of them were nice, right? Yeah, it's a good point, Michael. Not everyone is Ovi can come back from a broken leg like that. Yeah. Yeah, Green Lou. Yeah, I would be surprised too as well. I mean, it's a 3-month-old video. Somebody's got to be in a bad space to be looking for that at that point. Eller says, did they drug test Ovi, broken leg recovery, stem cells. Yeah. Dude told you to go root for your Canadians. That's crazy. Oh my God, SoFlo. Eki played all year so he can sit out this year and still get his name on the cup. Yep. All right, everybody. I got to roll. Voices gone. Voices going, gone. I got to save a few hours before we start up tonight. Again, we're going to try to do the long stream again tonight. I know we're doing Caps, Canadians. I know we're doing Avs and Stars. And then as we get towards the end of Avs and Stars and what's going on in with the Kings and Oilers, we will flip between the two, score dependent. So we'll see how that works out. But we try to finish the games that we start. But then sometimes games to go to overtime and the other games in the second period. It's like we're not missing playoff overtime. That's for sure. So, all right, everybody. Appreciate all the support. Members podcast is already up. And I shall see you tonight.